Hello. I wanted to talk some about reclaiming your nervous system. And first thing that I'll start with that I've been using a lot lately is just giving you permission. Not that you need permission from me, but we often don't know how to give ourselves this permission. But um, allow this to be a practice of listening the way your body wants to listen. If you feel drawn to try to learn or take notes, fine. But what if you didn't need to take anything away? What if you trusted that you were already enough? What if you let listening be a process of surrender and trust, welcoming that the things that'll shine through, that need to shine through, will, and the things that don't, won't. So if you find yourself having gone a couple minutes and not completely tracked what I was saying, maybe that's fine. Let it be a practice of enjoying being, trusting that if you just allow it to happen as it will, then what enjoyment wants to reveal itself will. um, yeah, and that's a big part of this process of reclaiming one's nervous system. I don't know, and even reclaiming sounds like it's kind of objectifying something, but it's a workable word. Um, but yeah, many people who find themselves drawn to meditation, to self-development, to healing, to all these things, are people who deal with a significant amount of pain or chronic challenge of some type. I know that's a big part of it for me, especially these last handful of years dealing with pretty intense chronic illness. I've had to get really, really intimately um, aware of my nervous system and how to dance with it skillfully, how to move in such a way that honors what it's telling me. And there's a recognition that I was overriding that in so many ways. And often the way I was overriding it was by trying to be something. And trying to be something includes trying to not be things that are less than desirable, trying to be the good things, trying to be not be the things that are less desirable. And the thing is, when you're in healthy relationship with your nervous system and with the world around you, you naturally grow towards goodness and naturally grow away towards the unhealthy things because the unhealthy things just aren't sustainable and they're revealed to be painful. But it's something that can be easy to the ways we kind of dominate ourselves and try to dominate our nervous systems can even get sort of hidden by practice and things. It's not uncommon for People who get into meditation to become um, a bit possessed by the notion of presence, whether or not they are present, turning it into an object, and then consistently judging whether or not they are present and what the quality of that presence is. The truth is, you're always present. When have you ever been in another moment besides now? Of course, in a relative sense, different nows come and go, and reflections of them echo. But those reflections are always happening in the present. You can only think about the past when you're in right now. And so you don't really have to police yourself into it. And that policing itself is part of what can strain your nervous system. It can make things like meditation feel like a chore. And at least in my experience, the further you go, I mean, it should be, well, just more and more natural because it's putting you more and more in contact with naturalness, the natural state, whatever you want to call it. And when these edges of self-domination and uh, clinging to particular illusions of control, the more they dissolve, the more your nervous system and what's happening reveals itself. It makes it easier to move towards organically, naturally nourishing things, move away from things that um, aren't good for you and the things you care about. But it can be scary. Giving up trying to be more or less than you are will reveal beliefs held up by fear. Fear that if I let a belief go, that I won't show up for the things that I value, that I won't take care of myself or I won't be cared for. That's really just, at least to my perception, just not the case. It's just we can identify so strongly with thought patterns that we don't realize that it's coming from a nervous clinging. And that actually letting go of those things means we can show up more and more artfully. And something I hold for myself is like if I truly believe something, I need to allow it to stand up to allowing the belief to crumble because the truth will keep revealing itself. And I've found that as I've done that, I've become more honed in on what my actual power is in this world, what my actual connectedness is. Because when I'm clinging to the idea in my head, it's less connected to the people in the world around me. And that connection, that place of connection is where my nervous system and the connection and its connection to other nervous systems and the collective lives. And then, you know, mutuality, benevolence, shared power, working towards collaboration becomes less about dominating my life into looking a particular way or controlling outcomes than it does um, finding where nourishment reveals itself between me and other people, where the ground feels stable and good. Because it's not hard when you start to, if you start to pursue doing anything to try to make the world a better place. It becomes really clear that some people are coming from um, I guess I want to say like cleaner, um, sort of inspiration or fuel source, and some people are coming with some contortions or dirty fuels. And you can't judge that by appearance. There's sometimes some vibe, but it takes really sensing into where steady, nourishing nervous system well-being arrives like soberly and groundedly. Mm. feel like there's a lot in here for me to unpack. So, well, you're in the early stages of my um, of me developing my coaching practice and business and work. So we'll see how much ends up unfolding here. But whether I'm looking for friends, relationship partners, collaborators, clients, it's like when I try to make myself into something, then I meet other people who are also contorting themselves. And that's a more precarious place than coming from a place of operating from honoring my nervous system, which is also honoring other people's nervous systems. Because the nervous system is never isolated. Even if you're completely like solo and off the grid living in a cabin somewhere, your nervous system is interacting with the nervous system of the other beings around you, the plants and animals and the earth, the weather, some actual nervous systems and some metaphorical ones. And my nervous system now is shaped by the nervous systems of my parents, by people who are currently in my life and past people. And so, truly caring for my nervous system allows me to show up in a way that is naturally caring for others as well, because I'm less likely to escalate a conflict to protect my idea of myself or various other anxious or avoidant type things. And so, in so many ways, it becomes super simple, continually surrendering to naturalness and how it reveals itself and allowing yourself to grow towards nourishment. Nourishment can sound selfish, but we often replace the healthy, grounded, um, more sustainable, and actively nourishing forms of, well, nourishment. We were often missing those and trying to fill that place with um, some of the contemporary consumption things, always filling space with media and um, consumptive experiences. Even in our relationships, we're often consuming each other in terms of like sex. It's consuming and being consumed each other's bodies for like seeking the peak pleasure. Getting to know each other can often be consuming each other's stories and enjoying being consumed. And those things aren't inherently bad. But in the revelation of natural states of nourishment, pleasantness, easeful pleasure, there's a lot of textures and types of um, of nourishment that create basic health and well-being that our culture is just missing. So we're in ways making ourselves consistently emotionally and relationally unhealthy. So we have an abundance of uh, human contact in a lot of ways, but we're contacting each other in ways that aren't really nourishing. Look at social media and the way people interact, the way people present themselves, and I'm just as much a part of that as everybody else is. Um, we're in ways consuming over-processed versions of ourselves and each other. And surrendering to naturalness reveals unprocessed nourishment, reveals unprocessed humanity. And that means your nervous systems can just feel good without cause. Even when there's pain happening, you can feel good. Um, when we're going about in some of our neurotic ways of being, it's often just like, oh, if there's pain here, it's like it's bad and I need to fix it. And I'm consumed by that. And the more and more you find a sense of naturalness, you find a sense of just um, finding that organic way of stewarding your nervous system. There's more nourishment, more spaciousness, and more basic well-being. At least that's what's coming through me at the moment. These thoughts, these ways of understanding things. I hope it's clear in the way that I share that it's not about me being right or wrong. It's about an invitation into your own ways of relating to this life and empowerment. I may be completely wrong. That's part of what I talked about earlier with being willing to let my beliefs crumble. So if you have curiosities, you can either reach out or you can share in the comments below. Always open to things that I can riff or talk on and share. And coaching, I'm open for business. Take good care of yourselves and the people around you.